If there's two games you'll always hear me mention in conversations relating to nostalgia, it's SOCOM and Grand Chase. Those games had me by the horns through middle school and high school, and I was playing them non-stop. I already talked a little bit about this in my League of Legends videos, so I won't go too in-depth about it. But just know that these were my very first major stepping stones in my online gaming life and were the base for everything I do and play today. Without those two games, I had nothing, and every game I played over the years had me yearning for that feeling of nostalgia. To get just a little taste of a game that made me feel the same. I had lost hope, and I had a feeling every game from now on would just make me feel mediocre. Or so I thought. Little did I realize there was a massive gem hidden right before my eyes in plain sight. One that I had looked over for many years without glancing at it, only in passing through apathetic lenses. This is my story of Splatoon. Splatoon is a third-person shooter for the Wii U and Nintendo Switch, where you take control of humanoid squid kids named Inklings. The goal of the game is to use one of the many weapons to cover the play area in your team's paint, while also killing other players by splatting them with your paint. The large arsenal of weapons include a mix of some generic and pretty wild concepts. You got your typical sniper rifle, assault rifle, pistol type weapons, which are about the same as in any other shooter. But you also use more unconventional weapons such as a paint bucket, gigantic brush, dual paint guns made to look like Uzis, and a shotgun umbrella. I'm not even joking here. In hand with weapons, you also have ultimate abilities, which vary from just giving yourself a little armor boost all the way to smacking people with a gigantic hammer or deploying an army of Roombas. This game is crazy down to its core. The game also features a plethora of customization options for your Inkling, like shirts, headgear, shoes, and passive abilities that make you stronger. Splatoon has a certain charm to it that makes it an enjoyable game for your average person. However, I felt something a lot stronger with this game. Something I had been yearning to achieve for so long. I had been revived. Let me explain a few things here just to make it a little bit more clear. When I was a little kid, whenever someone asked me what I wanted to be when I grew up, I always said, I want to play games. It wasn't until early middle school that I manifested that energy into my dream and lifelong passion, to go professional in a video game I loved playing and to compete with the best in the world. I poured all of my free time as an adolescent into getting better at the two games I mainly played. SOCOM Confrontation, and Grand Chase. Through all of my efforts and constant hours of strenuous practice, I'd eventually achieved a high-ranking ladder position on SOCOM Confrontation, as well as holding monthly rank 1 through 5 on multiple characters in Grand Chase. Meaning, I was on top of the leaderboards in both games I loved. After placing 4th in the North American So You Think You Can Brawl Grand Chase tournament, I was determined to continue playing with the prominent members of the community and to make a name for myself. I was full speed ahead in both games, and ready to invest even more time and effort into them. Sadly, my dreams were cut short in just 2 years when SOCOM Confrontation was shut down on January of 2014, and Grand Chase had closed a little over a year later in April of 2015. I hate to say it, but my life was in ruin. I had pursued a minimum wage job at a movie theater and stayed at home living with family just so I could have as much time as possible to play and get better at the games I loved, and now I had nothing to show for it. Bad grades in high school and no plan for my future made college a wild option now. I had nowhere to go, the path I was walking had finally been shut down, and I had to reevaluate my life. Around the year 2015, I started dealing with some issues surrounding depression and closely related to my current life status. I was playing League of Legends at the time and was slowly starting to feel my interest for games start to disappear along with my identity. League of Legends had been fun for years as a casual game to play with my friends, but I never had a ton of fun trying to get better and be the best. The skill ceiling in the game was way too high and I was incredibly toxic and bad for a long time. I found myself being less productive at work, and forgetting things I had been told to do just a few moments prior. My mental state was deteriorating, and I felt I didn't have a way out. Along with my loss of interest in video games come a loss of interest in other hobbies as well. Soon I stopped making banners and Twitch overlays in Photoshop, as well as taking a long break from making videos on our YouTube channel. I felt like there was nothing left in my life to do other than work until I die and try to put on as happy as a face as possible. These feelings persisted all the way through 2018 and have stuck with me for the most part until just a few days ago. On Thursday, January 3rd, while sitting in the office at work waiting to go home, Scuba hit me up with the recommendation of buying Splatoon 2. Within a few hours, I had it downloaded and fired up at his house to play a few matches, knowing damn well my mental state was not ready to handle playing another game. I would just lose interest a few days later, but that never happened. That night we played for hours, and even joined up with our friend Mocha for a bit to splat some dudes. I remember starting up the game around 2 AM and playing all the way until 9 AM that morning. It didn't matter to me if I lost or did bad because the game felt rewarding and it made you feel like you were constantly progressing. The game made you feel really good when you won and rewarded you every level with new armory of weapons to try out. I remember going home that morning after an all-nighter and just not wanting to sleep. All I thought about was Splatoon 2. I had this huge craving to play even more, so naturally that's just what I did. Suddenly the flame inside me that had been teetering out and dying ignited once again. My passion to play games was back, and a few days later I bought the Pearl amiibo from Amazon. I honestly have no idea what my future holds. I don't know if I'm going to wake up tomorrow with the same feelings I've harbored for all of these years. I don't know if I'm going to try to get competitively into Splatoon. I don't know if one day I'll just get bored of the game and move on. I'm not certain about anything anymore. One thing I do know, though, is that right now, in this moment, nothing matters more to me than having fun and feeling happy doing something with my time other than sleeping or watching television. At least I know that, at the moment, I'm loving Splatoon. And honestly, I couldn't hope for a better game to bring me back into the swing of things. Thanks everyone for sticking around to watch this video. It's really important to me to make this one. So thanks a lot, and I really hope to see you next time. Catch you on the next video.